Okay, this is my commentary for Forever and a Day, hence the army outfit. Now, this was a very ambitious project. It's basically because I just come off doing a couple big World War I films, World War II films with some people, and I just got, I was just constantly pissed off how bad the accents were from the English guys doing the American. I'm sorry it's not their fault, it's more the director because he's just like so crazy about war and all that stuff. But I did a few of those and was a bit disappointed, so what I did was I wanted to do my own GI thing, but with a twist. I didn't want to just do like, oh, standard like World War II, blah, 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 because that'd be low budget. I wanted a horror, I wanted like, like scares and chills and stuff like that. And still reading like the script, I would get chills. I mean, I was quite proud of the script, the story was great. I originally had five guys instead of three, but budget and all that stuff. Now, the three guys was me, my bro, and this comedy guy from Canada called Jason Rouse. Now, he wasn't great with his lines, but he was fucking hilarious, man. I just had to put him in something. It was more that I just wanted to work with him. It wasn't so much, that I knew he could act. I just knew that he could do stand up, really. But, he had the accent. I needed him. He was in London at the time. He's moved back to the States now. He's got his green card and all that. So he's more of a Yank than a Canuck. Anyways, we did have some good banter. We hung out a few times, had a few drinks, all that stuff. Got to know each other pretty well. Did some rehearsal and all that. However, on the night that we picked him up, he was doing a set in London Piccadilly Circus, I think the Comedy Store, wherever it was, and he was already quite sick. So by the time we got the next morning, I had to pamper him like hell. Oh my God, I had to really give him aspirin and water, like coax him. I gave him the big bed as well because at the time I had a whole house to myself in Surrey, where I did Adjudicator one and all that. Not two, that was in London. But either way, so some of these shots you can actually see he's like reading the script. We got the script outside, so it's definitely a bit much, even for me at times. I mean, I was like learning pages of dialogue, which I've never really done before. I wanted to really challenge myself, and the whole plan was to get this ready, take it to New Zealand, and then my guy let me down. He didn't finish it. He just thought it was going to be a trailer when I put all this like hard work into it, and it was definitely not a trailer, man. This was like 500 to a grand budget. Like the costumes cost like 200 quid just to get all accurate. But here we go. Here's the nuke scene, and this is just to basically kind of make you go like, "What the fuck?" Okay, because like American troops went in station there. That's what whole Iwo Jima Battle of Midway was all about. That the Americans were trying to get to Japan, Nagasaki, Hiroshima before actually bombing them, because they're like basically like really strategic points. Now, sadly, all this blue screen stuff. The keying came out okay, but for some reason the sound was terrible. It was way better outside. It just came out really echoey because it's not a studio; it's just someone's apartment. So sadly, like I had some issues with it, which wasn't great. And when I sent it off to a film festival, they just kind of like said, "Yeah, we're not gonna show that." Even when I was gonna pay, but at least they didn't like make me pay and then like fuck me over like they do nowadays. Like 400 quid in the end, don't get me started. But yeah, first appearance of the ghost. Now, originally it was supposed to be like a cat kind of starts it off in the script, and then it was supposed to be Japanese ghosts start appearing, and they don't even know who's who, and then each one dies off one by one. I love the whole like Predator, all those movies, where they kind of like die off one by one. You get to know each one, and then that's it. They get taken out of the story, and then you kind of miss them. So that's what all this was about. This was about kind of having them kind of well, as I said, like one by one lose it really, and then actually die off, and then kind of lose it again. So it's like a double take on the afterlife. This was it was they get nuked, but then they die in the afterlife. So it's like they died twice, and that's kind of what the fear was. Is that you're scared of dying once, but come on, the fear of dying twice. So like even in afterlife, you're not safe. But that's the whole thing with curses and this whole reason why I was set in Japan. Oh, you see like the background glitch in there. Wow, okay. Miss Lopez doesn't have that, so that's a plus. But again, this is back in the day. This is 2005, so this is early days for me doing effects work and all that stuff. Even though I didn't edit myself the effects, because I would have done a better job than that. But anyway, can't blame the guy, dude. We stayed friends for a bit, but once I went to New Zealand, I came back. It was kind of game over. So we sort of went our separate ways, sadly. And then you know Forever and a Day. Here's the nail scene. So this was a story that my Nigerian storyboard guy told me, Sonny King, if I mentioned before. He came up with the story when he was sick, and then he went to a local witch doctor, voodoo doctor in Nigeria, and then they chopped up like nails. So that really stuck with me. Now my brother didn't really have to shove them in his mouth, but he was so method about it. He just shoved them all, and we were like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, are you okay, man? Take it easy, all right? It's just like a movie, We don't have to like choke and die. There's no budget, like save, We still need to shoot some bits." Now this scene, oh, my knees are killing me by the this, man. That's why I don't like kneeling down for too long, just because like of this very reason, right? These shots I actually ended up cropping in the end. I did like basically widescreen bars and all that, made it more anamorphic. Don't know what the bars on the side are doing. They shouldn't really be there, but I guess that was a mistake. But yeah, this is the whole scene. I was quite proud of this stuff, and leading up to my final speech. Oh man, I don't know. I was getting chills when I was acting, and that's kind of like during the period when I was getting the acting bug. Now it's been like, 10, 20 years, so it's kind of like old hat, whatever. Maybe a bit of nerves and jitter in the morning, but during the take, when you get like that rush, the feeling, that's good stuff. That's like real acting. If when you feel it in your heart, hopefully like the audience will feel it, regardless whether like the film or not. Even a performance can make it. I mean, recently I just watched The Irishman. Without that cast, man, that would have been a boring ass movie. But like Scorsese and the cast, just like, whoo, they killed it. Now back to my stuff. Now this is the speech I'm talking about, right? This gave me chills. You see this clean shaven Lasco back in the day. Look at that baby face. All right, I was only like 24, 25 at the time. I think 25. Yeah, yeah. It's been about 15, 14 years since then. But here my M1 Garand, and then I killed myself second time. So I realized I'm gonna die again anyway. So basically, I kill myself again, and it's like, this I'm trying to answer. Like, what do we see in the afterlife? Is it just a white flash? Is it trippy lights? Are we an orb? Do we go to outer space? What really happened? So I was addressing all these things with this trippy bit. I found some of these effects off a mate. He hooked me up in New Zealand, and I just had to use them, because of the trippy shit. Of course, as you do. Now I think we're coming towards the end credits. Yep, so more trippy shit in the background. This was basically to say that, my character, Caton, like, is ending up in a permanent afterlife, purgatory, because you're not supposed to kill yourself once you're already dead, alright? You can die and then get tortured in hell and all that stuff, but you shouldn't really take your own life, so I'm kind of trapped in this weird bad trip purgatory, which is kind of connected to this mouth, I'm out to the ocean, like I did in real life, but that's it for Forever and a Day. Peace.